of Gaza. According to a new report released today, the number of people killed in Israel, well, let's just state it's at an all-time high. In the meantime, a number of people killed in the Gaza Strip has now exceeded 54,000. Unfortunately, there will likely be many more killed until this issue is actually resolved. All this, yet again, as we get word of potentially another ceasefire. Joining us now to discuss this and so much more is Mr. Harley Lippman, foreign policy expert, joining us back here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. Harley, always good to see you, sir. Happy Tuesday to you and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good to see you as well.
Harley, you heard me make mention of a ceasefire, and dear God, this is what, the third, fourth time that I've actually made that statement on this show. One side is stating that actually is the case, while others are saying, ceasefire, what are you talking about? What's going on here? And so with that being said, I'm hoping you could provide us with the latest surrounding this issue. Are we on the brink of a ceasefire?
I don't think so. I think what is happening is that people don't really understand what's going on in Gaza. And I think that they see tragedies of dead innocent Palestinians who are unintentionally killed by Israel. And I just read a statement that just came out from the German government, which is quite significant because Germany has always been very aligned with Israel, especially given the memory of the Holocaust that took place in Germany 80 years ago. So this is quite a striking statement where they said something to the effect, and I'll read it even because it's that significant. The German chancellor said that there is no connection between starving Palestinians and Israel's right to exist. And so allow me to put some clarity to that. So what I think a lot of people just aren't aware of is that Israel cannot stop fighting because Hamas has said they will come back and do the same thing they did on October 7th until they slaughter every single Jew in Israel.
Yeah.
So this is the problem. Israel has to be able to defeat Hamas. And this is where also I've said countless times, this is how you have closure. Everybody looks for solutions and ending the fighting. You have closure when one side gives up and surrenders. And the moment Hamas gives up and frees the hostages, all this fighting will stop. Nobody's going to die. So the strategy that Israel has had for years was what is called mowing the lawn. They go into Gaza, clean up a little bit, and then go back to Israel after Israel would be shelled by Hamas in Gaza. But what Israel's learned is that has failed because all Hamas did was regroup and come back with deadlier effect. And again, their own words are that they want to go back and kill every Israeli. So if Israel has a ceasefire, this will enable Hamas to reorganize, retrain, regroup, rearm, and come back and kill more Jews. So Israel really doesn't have a choice. And then when you look at so many innocent Palestinians being killed, it's whose fault is it? It's Hamas because they're hiding among civilians.
Harley, I got to play devil's advocate here, and that is, according to 800 British judges and lawyers, they are now calling for the UK to sanction Israel over the Gaza conflict. In essence, they are accusing Israel of war crimes. What say you to that?
Ridiculous. This is where the media is manipulating people. They see a soundbite, they see a tragedy of a Palestinian family being wounded or killed on the news. Understandably, that's a tragedy. For Hamas, it's a strategy. They want dead Palestinians because they know it gains support against Israel. Remember, this is an Al-Qaeda, ISIS type movement, Hamas. They want to kill all the infidels, and they don't care if their own people die if this allows them to be more effective in their war against Israel. So they're deliberately setting the stage where innocent Palestinians are being killed. So what the world should do is say to Hamas, free the hostages. Everybody just forgets about that. But I don't know any country that a year and a half later would still allow their people to be held captive in Gaza. We kind of just got numb to that, and we don't seem to realize that Israel is also fighting the war with one hand tied behind their back because they're going through major lengths not to kill innocent Palestinians. It doesn't serve Israel's interest whatsoever to do so. All it does is create a new generation of jihadists. It turns the world against Israel. This is not in Israel's interest. So Israel is not trying to deliberately kill Palestinians. They're really not. If they wanted to do that, they could have done it a long time ago with their very effective military. They're trying to get Hamas to surrender so they can have these Hamas leaders go to another Arab country. They don't even have to be imprisoned by Israel. And they just want their hostages back. That's 101. That's what this conflict is really all about.
Speaking of the hostages, we'll end with this, Harley, and that is, you heard me make reference of the potential ceasefire. We know that there happens to be a draft in place of a 60-day ceasefire and the release of 10 living captives, along with the bodies of several more people in return for Palestinian prisoners over 2 stages. Yet again, you have one side saying one thing, another saying the other, and you and I, in essence, left in limbo.
It appears that Hamas is not serious about returning the hostages. This is their ace, their only card to play. They know that this is what enables them to keep back the Israeli military, because the Israeli military doesn't want to, by accident, kill their own hostages. But when you think about it, they're exchanging one hostage for over 100 terrorists in jail in Israel, many of them for life sentences for murder. So and Israel's still willing to do that, by the way. They're still willing to do that to get their own hostages back, but Hamas, in the end, doesn't want to do it. So you will have peace and resolution in Gaza if the world, instead of condemning Israel, like you pointed out, the British want to put sanctions on Israel. And that's because they're not thoughtful about why this conflict started, and who's responsible for the deaths, and why, and how you're going to end it. These questions are not being dealt with. All they see is the horror, again, of Palestinians being killed, and they see it's Israeli warplanes dropping bombs, and they just reflexively say, look how bad Israel is. They're committing genocide. Again, it's not the case. So, I'll add one other historical example. If you look back in the last century on genocides are when, no matter what the victims do, they're murdered completely. So the Turks committed genocide against the Armenians. The Hutu committed genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. No matter what the victims would do, they would be murdered. This is not true in Gaza. If the Gazans surrender, they're not murdered. So it doesn't fit the definition of genocide. And the population in Gaza is actually increasing since the war on October 7th. So is not genocide taking place? There are terrible tragedies. And the last point I want to make is John Spencer, a worldwide expert at West Point, said in modern warfare, for every combatant killed, there are 9 civilians killed in urban warfare. Israel is doing it at 1 in 2 or 1 in 1. So by that standard, Israel really is going out of their way to make sure they don't kill innocent Palestinians.
Yet again, we have been speaking with Mr. Harley Lippman, foreign policy expert, joining us right here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. Truly appreciate your time, sir. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to bring it back here locally, where D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser has officially unveiled her 2026 budget proposal, along with the supplemental 2025 budget proposal. I got to